Everything's connected to help you succeed or fail, but the best part is that you are the one that gets to choose. And we are live. Hello. Welcome back to the Rosabeth Mooon Motivation Podcast. My name is Mikayla Rosabeth, and I'm your host today on Season 1, Episode 4. Everything around you is connected, and you get to choose which path you go. I am so excited to get into this topic because it has been a highly requested topic, and because of that, I am incredibly excited about it. Today's topic goes around the idea that everything is connected, but not necessarily in the spiritual sense, in more of the everything that you do is connected for you in your sense. Here's what I mean, okay? I have lost 88 pounds. I am on my self-help journey right now, and I am healing my body. So, at my biggest, I was 320 pounds, and I got to the point where I was eating 6,000 to 8,000 calories a day. And if you saw me, I was eating something. And it got so bad to the point that I actually ended up in the hospital because my systems were not enjoying this incredibly intense amount of calories that I was pushing into my system. And so I ended up in the hospital, and my stomach was in the worst pain in the entire world. It was one of the first times I actually could feel my body being in pain because I had pushed it so far. And when these kind of things happen, it really forces you to take a step back and to view yourself, especially when you're in the white hospital room and there's nobody there and you're in a different city than your hometown and you're just alone and you're just looking around the room with your thoughts. That's all that's there while you're hooked up to the machines and hoping that everything is okay, right? Well, for me, it wasn't okay, and it was my fault. I had chosen to fail. I had chosen to let my trauma lead me to this point. And I had a really difficult decision to make of whether, when I get out of this hospital room, am I going to continue to do this? Am I going to continue to be the girl that lets her trauma affect her to the point where she dies because she gouged herself with food? Or am I going to be the girl that actually connects the why of this food situation back to the trauma and finally look trauma in the face and tell it that it's no longer in control? Well, I did the latter. I decided to start looking at my why, okay? This concept is called the Trail of Whys. It's essentially where you look at your situation. So for me in the story, I was 320 pounds, really sick in the hospital with a food eating problem. That's my first part of my trail. Well, when you go back one step in the trail, you ask yourself why. So, this example, Mikayla, why am I gouging food? Why am I hoarding it into my body? Why, when I see it, do I just devour it? Well, go back a little bit. It's simply because the answer that I had formed in my brain from my childhood is that we're poor and I have to eat what food is given to me because I don't know when my next meal is. That's a deep one. And when I was like, okay. So when I realized this, I asked it why, right? Because it's a trail of whys. It's a trail. You can't just stop at one point. So I asked it, why did I figure this? Like, why is this what I decided to do in my life? Well, due to this scarcity mindset that I had developed as a child, throughout my adult life, genuinely, and through my teenage years, genuinely believed that no matter what changes in my life, I'm always going to be scarce on food. So even when the situations changed and our housings got better and our food got better and everything got better, that mindset was of scarcity on food was still in my head. And so I was like, okay, well, what do I need to do to fix this? Because I'm not choosing failure. I'm not choosing my body dying on me over my want of extra food. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to succeed. How the hell am I going to do that? How am I going to succeed in this thing that's been there since my childhood? So, since I identified the why, right, I was actually able to take a step back and be like, oh, okay. I started talking to myself. I was like, actually, everything is connected and I'm the one that chooses if I get to succeed. So I'm going to edit this out. I actually get to choose whether I succeed or fail. So I'm going to do my likes. I'm going to start doing vegetables because I like vegetables. In the other episode, we talked about finding your likes and dislikes. And here's why, right? Because your likes help you figure out a new path to helping your trauma. My trauma is food scarcity. I like vegetables. I like nature. I like going and doing things. I like moving my body. I like doing things that aren't necessarily food. So what did I consciously decide to do? I constantly decided, hey, this is the connection, and now I'm going to form a new trail. I'm going to succeed. I refuse to let my body feel this horrible, be this rough, all because it's not true anymore. That story of me not having food was my childhood. It is no longer my adulthood. It wasn't even my teenage years. It was at such a young age that it definitely took a long time for me to fully and truly take it and be able to look at it head on and tell it that it's not going to succeed. I'm going to succeed. So, I lost 8 pounds. And I'm still going. I'm still learning new stuff every day, and I'm still crushing it and moving it. And I do genuinely believe that everybody can choose to succeed, but inevitably it's up to you. I could have chose to stay in that hospital bed over and over and over again because of food. And what did I choose? I chose to feel discomfort and to face it head on and to follow the trail of why and to genuinely search and figure out what I can do to help myself, because I'm designed for success, not failure. And I believe that you are too. If you would love to continue seeing some self-help resources, feel free to go over to rosabethmoon.com. The moon has 3 O's in it, just like the podcast. We have self-help resources on there. And feel free to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Rosabeth Mooon Motivation. I'm going to be posting on there different things. So I hope to see you there. Let me know in the comments what you are going to choose to succeed at. And I would love to keep this conversation up with you. And tomorrow's episode, we are going to be talking about more ways to help you become successful. So look out for that. I'm so excited to be here for you guys. Again, my name is Mikayla Rosabeth. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Rosabeth Mooon Motivation Podcast. And I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Bye.